Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Whatever you may be doing. Welcome. Welcome to the lab, everybody. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz, and it is good to be here. Good to see you. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah. So I personally have not watched the press conference yet. I was going to just react to it live, and then we could talk about the Quinton Simon case a little more. As you know, I'm telling you, this is really starting to feel a bit like the Casey Anthony debacle. And I hope that that's not the case. It is just, I mean, we're talking about little kids and specifically a little kid in a landfill. There's no real easy way to talk about these cases. After the Casey Anthony verdict disaster, I'm seriously concerned regarding Quinton getting justice. Yeah, I don't know. Hi, Amy. How's it going? Good to see you. We're just gonna hop into it, and people, I'm sure most everybody's seen this. I have not. And let's see here. Okay, there it is. And let me stop this banner at the bottom here. All right. So it doesn't, I don't know who the hell that guy is. Let's see what he has to say. Maybe he's just a
5 level check test 1 2.
He's the engineer.
3 4 5. Mic check testing 1 2 3 4 5. Level check test 1 2 3 4 5. Is somebody back there getting that level check? Yeah, I get that, but is the audio clean? I'm just concerned about the quality of the sound. Okay, fine, thank you.
He's the audio engineer. That's great. I mean, already. Is there an echo? If there's an echo, I'm gonna freak out. Yeah, that's just a photo is absolutely heartbreaking. God, is there really an echo? God. All right. KC girl, how's it going? Good to see you. All right. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this.
Good morning. I'm Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley, and I'm joined today by FBI Senior Supervisory Resident Agent Will Clark from the Savannah office. Chatham County Police Department and FBI entered a new phase in the search for Quinton Simon. A short time ago, we began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County. As with every step we have taken in this case, the need for this search was based on where the evidence led us. We have spent the last several days preparing and deploying extensive resources to support the search team and the investigators. And I would like to thank, for a moment, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff John Wiltshire, Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Savannah Police Department, Savannah Fire Department, Chatham Emergency Services, and many other agencies that have assisted in getting us prepared to begin our search of the landfill. We know that this is going to be a physically, mentally, and emotionally grueling task for our investigators and team. Yesterday, our team posted this picture of Quinton here on the wall of this operations center as a reminder of who we are searching for and why we continue to work so terribly hard. We want justice for Quinton, just like everybody else, and we want to find his remains so we can give him a proper resting place. Once again, we are indebted to the FBI for their unmatched expertise that they have provided to us since they arrived on scene, less than 3 hours after Quinton was reported missing. Now I'll turn it over to Senior Supervisory Resident Agent, Mr. Clark, who also has a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Clark. As the Chief said, I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. Throughout our process here, our goal has been to bring Quinton home and to hold anyone responsible for his disappearance accountable. We, along with our law enforcement partners, go into this process with heavy hearts. We did not want to end up at this point, but the evidence has taken us here. We are not just randomly searching this landfill. We have evidence, specific evidence that leads us to this large property. To help in this search, the FBI has brought in specialists from Quantico, Atlanta, as well as all of our personnel.
So one of the things you got to realize here is, unfortunately, this isn't the first time that, these agencies have went through a landfill looking for a body. And the thing about that is, that it sounds like they know that he was put into a dumpster and around the day, and when that was taken and all this, I know it's graphic, it's terrible, it is awful. There's no question about any of that, but this isn't the first time that they've done this. Unfortunately, won't be the last time that they do this. But these searches are very, very difficult. But yes,
personnel here in the greater Savannah area. The FBI's evidence response team, which has experience in landfill searches like this, is heading up part of this operation. At this moment, we have dozens of FBI personnel on scene in support of the Chatham County Police Department. We will have Chatham County and FBI personnel in the landfill each day, conducting a systematic search of the debris. This will be a complex and strenuous effort. Searchers will move through the debris placed on the search deck looking for evidence. Once that debris is cleared, it will be placed on the search deck and then removed and then replaced with another section of material. This will not be quick, it will not be easy, and the outcome is uncertain. As the chief said, we want justice for Quinton, and we want to find him a proper resting place. Again, we share the sorrow felt by millions and promise all of our available resources and expertise to assist Chatham County in finding little Quinton.
Thank you, Will. Now we'll take a few questions if you'd like.
What makes you think that Quinton is in this landfill?
The evidence has led us to this place at this date and time.
Or anything specific you can tell us?
Nothing I can tell you specifically.
Chief, what day did you think you would come to this landfill? Is this something you knew last Thursday, last Wednesday, last Tuesday, or yesterday, or this morning?
Agent Clark's going to answer any questions about the landfill.
We've been reviewing the evidence throughout the duration of this investigation. We've been following the evidence where it has taken us, and the evidence has taken us to this landfill. The efforts to undertake this landfill search have been several days in the planning. We brought in experts in landfill searches to guide us to the specific area where we'll be searching. Like I said in my comments before, this is not, we're not searching the whole landfill. We have a specific area where we are looking.
And Agent Clark, in these landfill searches, I know the recovery of the evidence team has done this before. Is this an area that you've now gridded off? There's no more trash coming there, and it's away from anything new that would be coming in?
Yes.
And is that because of where this trash specifically came from?
Yes.
And then for the chief, if you didn't mind.
Sure.
You know, we talked to you 2:30 the Wednesday that you went missing, and you were so hopeful in this. And your tone has changed. You almost sounded like you were about to choke up there. You must be emotionally drained. You're investigators, as agents. Just can you talk about how hard this case has been?
Yeah, you're trying to get me to cry, I think. But it has. You know, we had a meeting yesterday, and to look across the multitude of people that are here and to feel and see their emotions, and but that's coupled with determination and dedication so we can find little Quinton and provide him a proper resting place. It does take its toll. There is a lot of time, energy, and effort that goes into not only the investigation, but the logistics in terms of getting everything we need to be able to provide the proper resources for the search teams and the investigators so we can.
So I see people in the comments saying, you know, why weren't they searching over the weekend or whatever that was. And I don't know if that's said on here. I haven't got to that part yet. But you know, you can't, I mean, you would just want to walk out into the landfill and start searching. You can't do that because it's just, you know, damn near impossible. There is a process to set this up. And that's what he's talking about here, you know, that there is a process that we have to go through, and this is not an easy recovery. And you can't just have people out there just digging through with, you know, pickers and whatever, walking over stuff. It was just not how it works. But I don't know that they weren't searching. So
Reach a conclusion at some point. There's a large order of magnitude that has been brought to bear here for this. And I'll say it again, I can't thank the FBI enough for all that they have done. They have been tremendous and phenomenal.
And you know, this is obviously is a criminal investigation now. It was a missing person, and there's
so that's a great question. Just the other day, we had Chris McDonough on, who was at the time a dog handler, but not a cadaver dog handler. It is much more difficult. Apparently, it is much more difficult to have a cadaver hit in a landfill. So, that's really the best.
It's not, right? No one's been charged.
No one has been charged
Why has no one been charged?
because we're not ready to charge anyone yet. We still have work to do. We still have an investigation to do, and we are not going to do anything preemptively that would harm future prosecution, where I'm standing before you 6 months from now talking about a flawed investigation or talking about why we did this and why we didn't do that. I believe in our investigators. I believe in the expertise that we brought to bear here. We are tracking in the right direction, but we're only going to do that when we're ready to do that.
Chief, is that because you're holding out to make this a capital punishment case?
No.
Chief, is this landfill the only place that y'all are going to be searching?
Yes.
You mentioned, of course, that this is going to be a large scale, really strenuous operation. Do you guys have a big idea of how long you think it'll take, or is that just kind of up to what happens out there?
It's kind of up to what happens, but as Agent Clark said, this is not going to be quick. This is not going to happen within a day or so. We are here for the long haul until we determine that we don't need to be here anymore.
Chief, let's back up a little bit in this investigation. One thing that never happened was there was never an Amber Alert sent out. There was never a Levi's call sent out. Why was that?
It didn't meet the criteria of an Amber Alert at that time.
Why so?
I'd have to go back and look at the exact criteria, but we didn't have any specific information about an abduction. We didn't have a suspect for an abduction. We didn't have a vehicle description or anything like that. And Amber Alerts are very prescriptive in terms of when you can issue them, and we didn't have that information at that time.
Chief, how tough is it to stand here right now when the only outcome this is someone threw that little baby in the trash?
It's tough, but we understand that it's necessary. This is the work that we do, albeit emotionally draining, albeit tough, albeit difficult. But this is what the community asked of our law enforcement officers.
I want to clarify something, Chief. It was asking a question earlier. Do y'all believe that Quinton was brought here and thrown in the landfill, or thrown in the trash and then ended up in the landfill?
We believe that he was placed in a specific dumpster at a specific location, and it was brought here by regular means of disposal.
Is that a dumpster at a gas station on 95?
I can't answer that.
I bet you, well, I bet you, she's probably on camera throwing that poor child into the dumpster. Most places where there are dumpsters, typically there's cameras, some sort of CCTV camera nearby. I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff you fry for. And to watch her stroll in and out of court like some sort of celebrity trying to outrun the press and I'm sad she didn't trip and knock her 2 front teeth out. Sorry.
Is Leilani still the only suspect?
She is.
You mentioned the other day you didn't believe she was a flight risk. Has that changed?
That has not changed.
How hopeful are you that you'll find Quinton's body?
I have every belief that we will find his remains here at the landfill.
Do y'all know where Leilani is today? And I don't mean right at this actual
Mhm.
moment, but do y'all know where she is?
I believe she's still here in Chatham County. We do not believe she's a flight risk.
We can feel her evil aura. We can feel Satan in our midst.
And again, I'll ask one more time, what makes you believe that she's not a flight risk?
I can't get into that.
Because she doesn't have any money. She's probably never been on a plane. She's a bum. Where's she gonna go? She probably doesn't have a passport. Blah blah blah. Usually the kind of people that are willing to kill and throw their child in a dumpster aren't world travelers.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, where's she gonna get her fix? And look, there are so many. There's so many issues that are going on today, especially with this search, and I understand people want her arrested. They want her, behind bars, and I have confidence that that is what will happen. However, you can never be too sure. He has said the exact correct things. He doesn't want a flawed investigation. He can't afford a flawed investigation because, like he said, 6 months from now, he's going to go, well, why did we want instant gratification? That is something that we as humans, as onlookers, as people who care, uh, we're not the ones that have to jump through the hoops of the legal system. They are. And by all means, they believe that Quinton is deceased. And I understand that that they believe the boy is in a landfill. And I understand how that sounds and how that must just feel for people. Nobody, it's not even the optics of it. It's the, just the thought of that little boy being in a landfill is enough to drive a person crazy. It's enough to make you sick. And so the outrage is understandable and it's palpable and it's thick. You can cut it with a butter knife because it's just a sickening thought. It's a sickening thought. And I got to say that, these searches are methodical. They are detailed. They are slow. They're slow. Let me see. I'll do my best. I promise you. It's good to see it. So here's a question. Can't they take her to jail for child abuse? Yes, I'm sure that they could. They'd have to charge her and be ready to present evidence, but why build a case on child abuse and take resources away from what you're doing at this time? They're going to stack them. They're going to stack them. Their goal is first and foremost to find Quinton. That's what they want to do. That is, Leilani she's 22 years old. She has the rest of her life to spend in prison. I get it. Enjoy the last days of freedom because you're going to jail. And of that, I don't have any doubts. I really don't have any doubts that she's going to go to jail. What I do have doubts about is if the investigation is rushed, if the investigation is compromised. And so what they're telling everybody is understand that this is frustrating. It's sickening. It's terrible. We understand the frustration. We understand the outrage. But we have to do this by the book because unfortunately there is a book, and we can't just throw her in a dumpster like she deserves, because that's exactly what she deserves. We're a society of laws and apparently morals. But we treat the immoral and the people who disregard human life, we treat them so well. And that's a problem. I hate that. That I don't like. I mean, she obviously did it, right? I mean, she obviously did it. And then there's this whole legal system set up, for her to have some sort of defense, whether it's true or not. They can lie about it. Oh, I blacked out, amnesia, postpartum, uh, you know, who knows? Who knows what kind of tactics that they'll use in court? And like I said, if she had any dignity left at all, which she doesn't, nor did she ever apparently, if this was embedded in her DNA to do something like this, then, who cares about her? She's sickening. And I'm telling you, I'm getting the Casey Anthony vibes here, folks. It's turning into a circus. It's been a circus. If you go back to the very first or second day we talked about this, like I said this is headed from bad to worse, and it's going to get out of control. And look, it's went from bad to worse, and it's out of control. The chief literally said the same thing that I was trying to explain to people, is that they are not ready to make an arrest yet. They are not ready to charge her yet. They're just not. They got to find them. And they're confident. They're confident that they will. Muttley, she's not charged with a crime yet. And I know that this is frustrating. I understand that it's not what we think is proper. Like I said, we are a society based on instant gratification. Instant gratification. And I don't know how many safety nets were fallen through or fell through. These children fell through safety nets one after one, or one after the other, after the other, after the other. And that's what happened. That's what happened here. And the ultimate price was paid in a innocent, beautiful little child's life. And you have her, dressing up for court, going to a custody, pretending like, oh, this isn't going on. Like, I didn't just presumably, allegedly toss my 20-month-old son into a dumpster and then show up to court, hiding her face, jumping in a car like she's the president or something. I don't know why people think that, we're showing her the attention. Where can I see that footage? I don't know. I can look. Hold on one second. I'll try and bring it up. Let's take a look. Here, I'll just share it.
Thanks for joining us for the news at 5. I'm Dawn Baker.
And I'm Mike Seelam. The woman police say is the prime suspect in the death of her 20-month-old boy appeared in Chatham County Court today. It was about the custody of her other 2 children.
WTOC was the only news station in the hearing. Our Shay Schrader was in the courtroom.
The grandfather of one of Leilani Simon's other children drove 4 hours to be at today's hearing, saying it's incredibly important to him to support his grandchild. He says the safety of that grandchild is at the top of his mind, knowing that the child's mother is the suspect in the death of one of her other children. Leilani Simon arrived to the Chatham County Juvenile Courthouse today wearing a face mask and a dress. And
Run!
of her other children. Leilani Simon arrived to the Chatham County.
Like, there's like police out there protecting her. Dude, let somebody just come, just let somebody through.
Juvenile Courthouse today wearing a face mask and a dress and took a seat next to her lawyer. On the other side of the bench was her mother, Billy Howell, who had custody of Quinton before he disappeared and still has custody of Leilani's oldest child. The 2 sat with their lawyers between them and didn't have much interaction. There were roughly
Oh, you don't say. It was awkward at the dinner table.
10 other family members in the courtroom today. There were also a lot of police both in the courtroom and outside of it. WTOC was the only news outlet at today's hearing. We requested to have a camera in the courtroom, but that request was denied. Judge Thomas Cole said it was to protect the privacy and safety of the children involved. The courtroom was also sealed from the public, and we had to leave before the bulk of the hearing started. The people that were allowed to stay in the courtroom also weren't allowed to tell us anything regarding the case because they're under a gag order. To be clear, today's hearing wasn't a criminal matter. It was pertaining to the custody of Leilani Simon's other 2 children, Quinton's siblings. We do know that legally, hearings like today's have to happen 3 days after an emergency order to remove a child from a home or DFACS requesting a child be removed from a home. We did ask for any records pertaining to today's hearings, but were denied because the hearings were closed to the public. Leilani Simon is the only suspect in the disappearance and presumed death of Quinton Simon, though she hasn't been charged with anything. I did reach out to the Chatham County Police Department to see if they had any updates in the search for Quinton Simon, and they told me they didn't have anything to share. Reporting in Chatham County, Shay Schrader, WTOC News.
WTOC.
Rest courthouse today.
So I don't necessarily know if they took those days off. It sounds like they were organizing a search. And you can't tell me. Yeah, she's the only one wearing a mask. She's just trying to hide her face. How she got out of bed that morning and go into court, I'd be like, you know what? My kid's gone. You took my other 2 kids. I'm not getting out of bed. Just arrest me. Just take me. Just take me in. I don't care. I don't want to be bothered. I don't need a cell phone. I don't need TV. I don't need any of that. Let me just sit here. I'm going to dress up nice for court and pretend like I didn't just do what I did. That's what she's doing. She's, my God. Was it WJCL? Okay, we'll take a look at WJCL. I agree. Catwoman, that's a great point. But, you know, she's obviously a angry person. All right, let me, which is, what was it? WJ. Oh no. All right, let's take a look at this. This will give us a little bit more. Wow. Man, oh man. Just found this channel like 3 minutes ago. I'm already glad I checked it out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Love. Oh my Lord. I mean, it's just disturbing. Oh man. So it looks like they're taking the trash from that day or trying to separate it here. Um, and he's just little, he just. No, I don't think this is live, but this is what's going on. So it looks like they've created an area. Looks like they've created an area to start filtering through garbage in hopes of recovering this young man's body. It doesn't get any worse than this, folks. It just really doesn't. Wow.
An opinion, and here she comes with her unqualified opinion. Now, the Young Turks wraps this by reading tweets from
Okay, well, that just popped right in. I didn't really care to see that. Right. I mean, it's just wow. I don't know. I've just never like hearing about it and seeing it is so much different, man. I'm telling you, it's so different in a bad way. But like I said, they have, it seems as though they have methodically pulled the trash from the area because, like I said, they have those grids and logs from the day, so they know where they're looking. And it sounds like they know what dumpster the young boy was put into, which is sick, by the way. It's sick, but like I said, it's just standard. Like this stuff happens more than we'd like to even admit. For obvious reasons. All because that person, Leilani, decided that her child was not worth anything more than what you see on the ground there. And I hope and pray that they find this child as fast as possible and that justice will be swift with Leilani and that she regrets the day that she was born. I mean, there are no other words. I don't even know what else. You know, there are people that are begging to have children that can't, that spend their life savings doing whatever they can to try and have children. And then you have people like Dawn and Candace and Leilani, Corey Bigsby, Angel's father, who absolutely disrespect the lives of others. They don't have any, they don't have, they don't value life. You got Casey Anthony. I mean, this is Casey Anthony 2.0. She's out there strutting around in her dress and glasses, trying to, oh, I love my kids so much. I love my kids. Yeah. The only reason she went to court is because they would have hauled her ass in, and that would have probably been better too. But she's going to enjoy every little last bit of freedom. She's going to binge The Sinner on Netflix or something. Whatever she's doing, she's squeezing every last little ounce of freedom that she can get, which is once again terrible. And then that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably not. Probably not. Danielle says, I don't understand why they keep popping out kids too. After the first one that you didn't want, you'd think they'd figure out, in cases like Leilani, kids are a byproduct of her actions. And look, I've been there as well. I've been a young kid who was doing the wrong things and had children too young. Never once would I ever consider anything to harm my kid, even if I was 18. There was a time when I thought I was never going to sleep normal again. I'll tell you that right now. I swear. I never thought I was going to get a normal night's sleep again, ever. And it was frustrating and it was exhausting. And I remember Peyton's nights were completely backwards for like 4 months. The problem is I still had to function during the day. And at night, he liked to stay up. It's frustrating, man. It sure is frustrating. Kids can be, it's hard to raise kids, but my God. I was a single mother of 2 at 17. I never thought to harm my children. When I was stressed, I knew to ask for help. Linda coming through with the heat. Just because you're a young parent doesn't mean you do something so evil and disgusting. I was 16 with no patience, but I never thought about hurting my baby. Of course not. Of course not, because that's not normal. That's not normal. And I haven't seen anybody really defending Leilani because you can't. First of all, if I did, I would absolutely lose it. But I'm sure there are people that have sympathy for, she had issues. Well, 18, 19 years later, I know that now, but I didn't know that at the time. And I also didn't know that a 3-day-old baby won't eat a steak. Moving on. Karina Lynn says, I was a single mom from the time my kid was 2 until 8. I still would give my life to protect her. Even now at 25, you don't mess with my kid. Exactly. Yeah, you're not supposed to feed kids steaks. Although although what I did was I put it up to his nose, and I mean he licked his chops. He wanted some, and now he eats steak, and can't get him to stop eating the damn stuff. Yeah, the reason that we're looking at this here, folks, is because if we're following this story, and if we're going to be critical, and we have every right to be, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, whether we like it or not. It's just one of those things. This is the reality. This is what they're dealing with. This is what is happening right now. And it is unfathomable. It is sick. It's grotesque. It goes against every human instinct that 99.9% of the population have. And then we wonder why. And I'm telling you right now, folks, you can sing why till the cows come home. You're never going to get an answer, ever. You'll never get an answer why. There's nothing that can explain that behavior. Nothing. There's nothing that can explain what she has done, ever. So don't look for the why. Just try and get past that if you can. Just try and move on from the why, because you're looking for an answer that you're never going to get. And I'll tell you what, even if she gave an answer as to why, who the hell cares? Oh, I was so frustrated. Oh, I was so tired. I just wanted to sleep. He got into something that he shouldn't have. He was being difficult. He was hyper. I remember when Trezell and Jacqueline were doing an interview, and I remember Trezell was like, those kids were really hyper. Those kids were really hyper, man. They're just, well, Well, no shiza, bro. They're kids. Kids are hyper. They get hyper. They're rambunctious. Yeah, man. That's right. Kids are rambunctious. If a kid's not rambunctious, they're not being kids. They're not being kids. I know. Thank you. I still cussed, but it was in German. Spicken Sie Deutsch. How about just love our kids? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they sure love that money. You're right. They love that money. They had no problem taking that blood money and doing whatever they were doing with it because they sure as hell weren't taking care of those kids. Those kids were missing at least 3 months before. I mean, this is degenerate behavior, evil behavior. There is no redemption when you make and look, I'm not even going to say that this is a mistake because it's so far beyond a mistake. It's not a mistake. I mean, it is, but it's not. If you catch what if you're picking up what I'm putting down here, all right. Mistakes, are like I cheated on my homework, or when I was 9, I took a Snickers bar from the store. I don't know. I busted out a window on accident with a baseball and ran inside and hid. Those are mistakes. Those are mistakes. This isn't a mistake. This is a whole nother level. Mistake. Mistake. That will be the defense, accidental OD NyQuil. But you can't throw your kid in the dumpster, so no one cares. No one cares. You can't throw your kid in the dumpster. You can't. I don't care what reason she gives. If she gives a reason, makes no difference to me. And it should make no difference to the court. And it should make no difference to you. And I bet you it doesn't. And this is what people need to understand is they have to prove she's the one that put him in that landfill. I'm sure they got something to go on, just making sure it all sticks. Once again, our society is based off instant gratification. I'm no different. You're no different. I mean, we all want send that email right now. Back in the day, you had to send a letter. It would take a week. You'd have a whole conversation in 7 or 8 months, depending on the Pony Express. And then, let's go stream a movie instead of going to the store, renting a movie, spending an hour and a half walking up and down the aisles, thinking that some new movie is going to appear that you hadn't seen on the wall, finally finding a movie that you want to see, picking up the DVD and noticing that there's none behind it. So it's sold out, finally getting one, driving home. Now you're at 2.5 hours and then watching the movie and falling asleep 20 minutes into it. Been there, done that. Our lives are based off instant gratification. There is no process. We don't want a process. We want something fast. This is a process. This is a process here. Okay. And all things aren't just as fast as we'd like. Obviously that sucks. And I wish that they could just throw her in jail and be like, well, you did what? You did what? Okay, we don't need to prove anything. How about you just go to jail forever? Like, we'll never see you again. Just bye. See ya. Gone. You know what I mean? That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, our society doesn't work that way. Which, for the most part, it's understandable. Because, there are people out there that are innocent, but obviously it doesn't seem like Leilani is one of those people. So it'd be like, you know what? Just go to jail. Just go. Don't put everybody through this long, expensive trial that you're going to be found guilty on. Yes. Yeah. Make the mother come out here and dig. Trust me, they'd never find the child then. She's more into getting rid of the kids and not. He says, as bad as it is, it looks very organized. Yes, they have landfill recovery experts. The fact that we need that is sick, but I'm glad that there are people out there like that. How can you admit to something and turn around and say you don't remember? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I know. I think that she really and she must have a lawyer now, and the lawyer's probably telling her like this. Look, this isn't going to work. Whatever you're trying here. This isn't going to work because, like I said, the amnesia thing is that's just not going to fly. It's just not going to fly, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't fly. Because I could care less. Oh, I don't remember. Well, how about we give you 100 years to try and remember? Cherry Max makes a great point. I do not know who's paying for her lawyer. She must have a custody or a court or a CPS lawyer, I guess. I don't know. She doesn't have a trial lawyer. 2 tragedies in life. She remembered enough to tell the babysitter she wasn't needed. She certainly did. She certainly did. She certainly did. These people are top level agents. Yeah, they are. They are. Beezy says she will get hers. Prison is a place that moms who can't see their kids won't like you. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna go to a place where there's a lot of mothers who want to see their kids and love their kids and have done, bad things that don't involve children, and they're not gonna like Leilani. I don't even like her, and I've never met her. I don't like her name. I don't like her face. I don't like her TikTok. I don't like anything about her. Nothing. Not one redeeming quality. And I've never even heard her speak a spoken word ever. I can just feel that aura about her. Yes, Casey Anthony's she's a caution. That trial's a cautionary tale, and hopefully that will be learned from. They unfortunately tried her for murder when they couldn't prove that. They didn't have the proof that she murdered her, and they went all in on the death. They went in on the death penalty, and with the evidence that they have, they overcharged her. Unfortunately, and I know you're like, well, Josh, she did it. Well, I agree with you, but it's not what you know; it's what you can prove. How many times has that been said? 100,000 million times, because it's true. It's true. You got to be able to prove it, unfortunately. And I hate that part about it. Because we all know that she was responsible for the death of her child, whether it was an accident, whether it was on purpose, whether it was whatever. She was responsible for it. But they charged her with things that they couldn't prove. And that was a major mistake. You have to play the game. Chess, not checkers. And they overcharged Casey Anthony. And I'm telling you that they're not going to do that in this case. You can't charge somebody with murder if you don't know the cause of death. Well, no, you can. It's just much harder to convict. Because there was a chance, and I'm just saying that this is just a chance, that it was accidental and then a cover up. I don't know. I don't know what she did. VZ says, I'm guessing she won't have Jose Baez as her attorney. When Jose Baez was her attorney, he wasn't Jose Baez, if that makes any sense. I mean, he was a very unqualified lawyer at the time to deal with a capital murder case. He felt he could handle it, and obviously he did. But there's a million lawyers out there waiting to make their make their mark on the world by taking these cases. Well, like I said, you can't afford a Jose Baez. Now, and Casey couldn't either. It was great publicity for Jose. Unfortunately, turned him in one of the greatest defense lawyers ever. Right, exactly. There'll be a million people chomping at the bit to represent her, I bet. And that's, like I said, that's I mean, that's sick, but it's true. I mean, nobody knew who Jose Baez was at the time. Nobody thought that he was capable of representing her the way that he did. And he went the scumbag route, and he did it. He did it fine. Good for you, Jose. I hate that guy. He's such a douche. Let me see. He really is a douche. Let me see if I can find this. Where you at, Jose?
Ladies and gentlemen, for being with me this afternoon on this.
Oh yeah, this is a terrible one too. This is just a different angle of it.
Good morning. I'm Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley, and I'm joined today by FBI Senior Supervisory Resident Agent Will Clark from the Savannah office. Chatham County Police Department and FBI entered a new phase in the search for Quinton Simon. A short time ago, we began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County. As with every step we have taken in this case, the need for this search was based on where the evidence led us. We have spent the last several days preparing and deploying extensive resources to support the search team and the investigators. And I would like to thank, for a moment, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff John Wiltshire, Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Savannah Police Department, Savannah Fire Department, Chatham Emergency Services, and
Wild
many
Angel,
other
thank you so
agencies
much.
that have assisted in getting us
Becoming a
prepared
member.
to
Thank you.
begin our search of the landfill. We know that this is going to be a physically, mentally, and emotionally grueling task for our investigators and team. Yesterday, our team posted this picture of Quinton here on the wall of this operations center as a reminder of who we are searching for and why we continue to work so terribly hard. We want justice for Quinton, just like everybody else, and we want to find his remains so we can give him a proper resting place. Once again, we are indebted to the FBI for their unmatched expertise that they have provided to us since they arrived on scene, less than 3 hours after Quinton was reported missing. Now I'll turn it over to Senior Supervisory Resident Agent, Mr. Clark, who also has a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Clark. As the Chief said, I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. Throughout our process here, our goal has been to bring Quinton home and to hold anyone responsible for his disappearance accountable. We, along with our law enforcement partners, go into this process with heavy hearts.
That's another thing in the uprising. Thank you for saying that. You know, look, there's enough to be pissed off about in this case. There's enough outrage to go around. There's enough anger and angst and frustration, and there's, you know, like I heard somebody say the other day, well, how do you guys feel about them just leaving that baby out there in the trash? Like it's that simple or something. And it's just not. It's just not. I mean, that's horse crap. That's not what they did. That's not what they're doing. Like, we don't need more things to be outraged by. We need to support the people that are doing this.
We did not want to end up at this point, but the evidence has taken us here. We are not just randomly searching this landfill. We have evidence, specific evidence that leads us to this large property. To help in this search, the FBI has brought in specialists from Quantico, Atlanta, as well as all of our personnel here in the greater Savannah area. The FBI's evidence response team, which has experience in landfill searches like this, is heading up part of this operation. At this moment, we have dozens of FBI personnel on scene in support of the Chatham County Police Department. We will have Chatham County and FBI personnel.
It's just a way to get people outraged. It's just a way to get people's emotions fired up about something that's not true, that's not real. They didn't not search. They didn't just leave him out there. And by the way, they're not the ones that put him there.
In the landfill each day, conducting a systematic search of the debris. This will be a complex and strenuous effort. Searchers will move through the debris placed on the search deck looking for evidence. Once that debris is cleared, it will be placed on the search deck and then removed and then replaced with another section of material. This will not be quick, it will not be easy, and the outcome is uncertain. As the chief said, we want justice for Quinton, and we want to find him a proper resting place. Again, we share the sorrow felt by millions and promise all of our available resources and expertise to assist Chatham County in finding little Quinton.
Thank you, Will. Now we'll take a few questions if you'd like.
What makes you think that Quinton is in this landfill?
The evidence has led us to this place at this date and time.
Is there anything specific you can tell us?
Nothing I can tell you specifically.
Chief, what day did you think you would come to this landfill? Is this something you knew last Thursday, last Wednesday, last Tuesday, or yesterday, or this morning?
Agent Clark's going to answer any questions about the landfill.
We've been reviewing the evidence throughout the duration of this investigation. We've been following the evidence where it has taken us, and the evidence has taken us to this landfill. The efforts to undertake this.
I don't know what it was the moments leading up to where they were like, okay, well, this is where he is. This is what we need to do. But like, I can just imagine it being like, they're look at this evidence, look at that, and they're going, holy shit. Excuse my language. She put him in a dumpster, and then the trash was put in the truck, and then truck was taken to the landfill and dumped. And they're going like, are you kidding me? I mean, these are humans, man. It's not normal. And you don't, as heinous of a crime as this is, and it is heinous, they're not, this isn't something that you can prepare for or get numb to. It's just weird. It's just strange. It's just sick. It's all those things wrapped up into one little thing. But, people out there go, how do you guys feel about them leaving that baby out there? Shut up. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Seriously. They didn't just leave the baby. First of all, they didn't leave him out there. Second of all, they didn't put him there. Third of all, I don't know if anybody's ever been to a landfill, but it's a pain in the ass.
This landfill search have been several days in the planning. We brought in experts in landfill searches to guide us to the specific area where we'll be searching. Like I said in my comments before, this is not, we're not searching the whole landfill. We have a specific area where we are looking.
And Agent Clark, in these landfill searches, I know the recovery of the evidence team has done this before. Is this an area that you've now graded off? There's no more trash coming there, and it's away from any.
Tanya, thank you for that $20 super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Trash specifically.
Yes.
And then for the chief, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You know, we
I
talked to you
appreciate that.
2:30 the Wednesday that you went missing.
Rap Track Gangsta 222. I
And your
appreciate
tones
that.
changed. You almost sounded like you were about to choke up there. You must be emotionally drained. Your investigators, his agents, just can you talk about how hard this case has been?
Yeah, you're trying to get me to cry, I think. But it has.
Yeah, that's a guy right there. Oh yeah, that's a guy that disrespect. He just left the kid out there. I mean, seriously, it pisses me off. Look at this guy. He's beat down. I'm sure he's never dealt with anything like this. He probably never thought he was going to deal with something like this. Even though this stuff happens all the time, it doesn't happen all the time in one town. It happens, all over the country and the world for that matter. And that's really what we're dealing with here. These people that are trying to recover this child are getting disrespected by no talent ass clowns. Makes me sick to my stomach knowing that these people of integrity who are tirelessly working to find a missing boy who was likely thrown away in the trash by his mother. And let me say that again for the people in the back. By his mother, who's the prime suspect in this case. By his mother. I'm not going to bite my tongue about that because it's disgusting. Show these people some respect because this job that they're doing is nothing to envy. And I'm thankful that it's not my job because I couldn't handle it. I truly, your emotions would get the best of you. Pat K became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It has to wear them down emotionally and physically. Yeah, it's draining. Absolutely. And Keely became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Suspect being the operative word. Everybody's screaming, lock her up. They need evidence. They need evidence. And that's what they're looking for. And, and I'm sure that the criticism can't be easy, even though it doesn't seem as though they've really done anything to warrant it at this time, other than, they didn't solve it in, 30 minutes. And that's an absolute crime. If they haven't solved it in 30 minutes, folks, it's a crime. Now this isn't like Hawkins County, and I have more for them later on today, but I'll tell you, it hasn't been 16 months, nor has this guy's son been charged with a crime of the sexual nature, and we're all just finding out about it. And apparently he was sentenced to 20 years, but now he's only going to serve one. What the hell is that all about? There's a little teaser, a little spoiler, teaser spoiler alert, for later on. That's interesting. But this is not the same people, folks. This is not him. Let these men work. Let these women do their job. Don't be so quick to criticize. 1 year in jail, not prison. Exactly. What exactly? Look at that baby. I know. We'll talk about Hawkins County later. I about had it with them, but I'm gonna.
You know, we had a meeting yesterday, and to look across the multitude of people that are here and to
You know what really drives me? I'll just tell you this. What really drives me nuts is I've been emailing and calling just for and I saw that Evil Exists did. He called or he messaged that Earhart lady from TBI and um, I've been I've been emailing and calling Mr. Lawson to see if he wanted to give a public statement on the activity of this case, not to give details, but hey, bro, if this case is cold, my man, you should probably let us know. Let somebody else get to work. We'll talk about that later.
feel and see their emotions, and but that's coupled with
Because from what I just saw yesterday, my God, you might want to just, brother, I'm not even telling you to step down as sheriff, even though, I mean, that's what I was thinking too. Julie, that's exactly what I was saying. Is he too busy dealing with his own son cover? Had anybody heard of this up until the sentencing? Had anybody heard that this was going on? Anybody? Until what? Until they couldn't anymore, until sentencing was public. And how the hell is he sentenced to a 20-year sentence? A 20-year sentence reduced to 1 year in prison or 1 year in county. How? Why? They imply a lot of things. And so this is the man in charge of the Summer Wells investigation. You have to ask yourself, do they have any reason is there any reason why this was kept so quiet? The man is a public official, and I can't get him to answer even a yes or a no. He's not a celebrity. He's not some famous, uh, Fox News sheriff correspondent. He's the sheriff of Hawkins County in Tennessee. He's an elected official, and he really should be returning emails. That's his job. But I don't live in Hawkins County because I wouldn't vote for him. Not saying that they had anybody else to vote for. He's an elected official. He's a politician. He's a spokesman for the department. He's in charge of this investigation. And there's a reason why other people couldn't get to it. I mean, they you know, I think he got a little bit more, but barely. Yeah, Lisa. I mean, there's a reason why they couldn't get that information. I mean, it's time to step aside, Ron. You know, I have all the respect in the world for law enforcement, but like, first of all, you know, you're going nowhere fast. And that, I'm shout out Evil Exists. But I'm going to play. Come on, man. Guy puts out a lot of videos really fast. Is it this one?
As time goes on, other cases come up and we cover them. We recently covered the case of Kylie Rodney, Dylan Rounds, and Quinton Simon, 2 of which are still missing persons. Kylie has been found, but lots of questions remain. Although we follow these other cases, it does keep saying they have a job to do and preserving evidence is very important. However, this has become a case that is known internationally.
Hold on, I don't think that's the one. Okay, here it is.
So sad to say this yet again.
Let me share this with you. I don't know if you guys follow Evil Exists, but he's got some good stuff. Does well. Short and sweet. Not like me where I just keep talking for no reason. Because that's what I have to do.
The precious Summer Wells is still missing. No suspects have been named, and no one has been arrested in connection with her disappearance. In a nutshell, the awful people responsible for Summer's disappearance are still walking free. Summer is missing for 16 months today. 16 months too long, and I'm absolutely frustrated with the lack of answers in this case. I said in a previous video, maybe it's time to demand answers for Summer. Don Wells will be released in 15 days, and his obligation to Hawkins County Jail will be over. I wonder if he will be back to his old self.
Probably.
Time will tell. All we hear is active and ongoing investigation. I decided to reach out to Leslie Earhart on Twitter. I told her that people around the world are waiting and watching for answers for Summer Wells. I asked her if we will be getting an update on the case, and it's 16
Look at this.
months since this precious 5-year-old girl vanished. She replied to me saying, unfortunately, we have no new updates to share. Investigators continue to search for answers. So are they searching for answers, or are they waiting for somebody to call them and tell them what happened? I don't know. I'm not familiar with a lot of searching going on. new updates to share. Investigators continue to search for answers. Wow.
We're going to cover this on a different show because it deserves its own fresh start. Because I got a few things to say. I got a few things to say about this. I'm not pumped in any way, shape, or form about the Summer Wells case. I'm not encouraged in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never going to let it go. I'm never going to let it go. I'll never let it go. If this case does not get solved, I'll be talking about it 15 years from now. And then I'll make sure my kids talk about it when I'm not here, and then their kids. This cannot happen. It is slipping through our fingertips. Enough has already happened to this child. No answers. Unfortunately, we have no new updates to share. Investigators continue to search for answers. What updates have you even shared? D. Warner's case was pressured to hand over to state police. Maybe we should start calling to pressure Ronnie to do the same. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all that and more. Because like I said, like Grandma said, there's something rotten in Denmark. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you to the new members, subscribers, super chats, and stickers. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Helps this channel grow, maintain, and broadcast more often. Thank you so much. And please, please, please pray for all the men and women that are searching for this young boy today and as their days continue. Remember, click that notification. See when I go live. Make sure to hit all